Grieving the loss of his grandmother, a young man sat in her dimly lit home, seeking a quiet sort of comfort. He pulled out a stack of her old leather-bound family photo albums. As he flipped through a recent Christmas gathering, his eyes caught on a tall, unfamiliar figure standing deep in the shadows of the living room, far behind the unwrapped presents. Flipping a few pages back, the man appeared again. He was standing on the periphery of a recent summer vacation photo, and again in the corner of a school graduation picture. The stranger always maintained a strict distance. He was consistently positioned farther back from the lens than any actual participant in the events. A stranger appearing in the background of a public park photo is a coincidence. Appearing inside a locked living room on private vacations and at closed school events across several years moves the situation into the realm of a targeted intrusion. Comfort quickly gave way to a sharp, creeping suspicion. The young man gathered the recent albums and brought them to his relatives, pointing directly at the looming figure. The reaction was uniform. Every family member stared at the tall man in the Christmas and graduation photos, and every single one claimed they had no idea who he was. If the family truly didn't recognize him, it meant an unidentified adult had successfully and repeatedly bypassed their privacy to observe their most intimate gatherings without raising a single alarm. Seeking a logical explanation, the protagonist went to the attic. He started pulling older, dustier boxes of archived family albums to trace exactly when this observer first appeared. He found him hiding at a family wedding taken in the early 2000s. Digging into the 1980s, the same figure stood near the edge of a backyard birthday party. Pushing into the 1960s, a black and white holiday photograph showed the same man lingering near the doorway. Over 40 years of photographs, the cars, the interior decorating, and the clothing styles constantly evolve. The figure in the background, however, maintains a perfectly static, looming posture. Archival researchers use a concept called temporal staticism to describe entities that resist environmental and chronological change over extended periods of time. This decades-long pattern identified an intentional, multi-generational tracker attached to this specific bloodline. This timeline plots the family's natural aging against the anomaly from 1965 to 1995. The upward curve shows normal development. The flat baseline tracks the figure. Over 30 years, as family members age, the anomaly experiences zero biological degradation, remaining locked in his mid-40s. Armed with a clear chronological timeline of an unaging observer, the protagonist presented his findings to the surviving elders of the family. Instead of shock, he hit a wall of calculated silence. His aunt became overtly hostile, refusing to even look at the vintage photographs. But an elderly neighbor next door gave him a different reaction, quietly confirming that she remembered seeing the tall man standing in their yard years ago. That neighbor's verbal confirmation elevated the situation from a photographic glitch to an active intergenerational secret. The investigation peaked at the absolute bottom of the oldest storage box. Beneath a stack of brittle documents, he found a photograph dated 1928. The moment he looked at the print, the entity's established passive behavioral pattern completely fractured. Instead of hiding in the deep background, the unaging man stepped forward into the midground. He is making direct, unbroken eye contact with the lens, holding a slight smile. In this photo, his high-collared shirt and dark wool suit finally match the fashion of the era, marking 1928 as his arrival point. That deliberate smile and direct eye contact show an awareness of the photographer, capturing the precise moment a dark pact attached him to the family line forever. The young man's investigation uncovered a century of documentation, proving a single, unaging entity has systematically haunted his family. This discovery redefines the family's photo albums as the unwitting documentation of a century-long stalking. Those dusty albums sitting in your closet or your parents' attic serve the exact same function, freezing moments in time that you largely take for granted. The next time you open them, look past the faces of your loved ones. Scrutinize the deep shadows, and see who has been watching you.